Hey guys, my name is Skye and I'm a raw vegan and I am here with Kiko and we do the Ups and Downs podcast each week. Hey Kiko.
Hi, Skye. I'm so happy to be back again, and hello, everyone.
I am as well. So, raw veganism saved my life. It saved Kiko's life. So, we do this podcast and we share on different topics. And we are going to do this week what we are currently eating and why we eat this way. So, take it away, Kiko.
Oh yeah, so I've suggested this one because I'm really excited on what I'm eating now. So, I have been on a high raw vegan diet for over 20 years, and I went through so many phases. And one of the beautiful thing about raw vegan diet is that you can eat, if you want, you can eat a lot of quantity. And some days it works out to my advantage because I'm a big eater. I have been a huge big eater since I was child. And a lot of people are so impressed with how much I can eat because I'm tiny. I haven't been big my whole entire life. So I love eating a lot of fruits and vegetables. But when I go out, especially like on hiking or when I'm with my client, I have to be out all day long, and I need to limit on what I eat because I'm doing quite a few activities. So I'm really excited to share what I'm eating now because I think that works really well on days when I have to be out. So um, now this is my lemon ginger water. So this is, I don't know, maybe 1 liter to 1.5 liter 1 liter. Yeah, a bit over 1 liter. I drink this in the morning. So I just squeeze half of lemon, and then ginger juice. I freeze them so it's easy to drink to do it in the morning. And then when I'm done with that, I would eat like seasonal fruit. So now it's peach, nectarine, grapefruits. We have quite a few fruits now, melons. So I eat some of them, and then I make big green smoothies. So I have been following similar green smoothies as Dr. Brooke Goldner. So how she make it is 3 tablespoons of chia seeds or flax seeds, and then pack up lots of greens. So I counted like, so basically she fills up 80 to 90% of the smooth Vitamix blender, and then she would just add 2 bananas or mangoes or pineapples. So I do that, and I mix it with 2 to 3 cups of water, and that's my breakfast to lunch. Then another huge change is that I have been sharing that I made my homemade natto. You've seen that,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like I have nailed making homemade natto. So if anyone is interested in making it, I've been making it without using any electricity. So usually you have to keep natto in a certain temperature. So in Celsius, it's about 50 Celsius for 18 to 24 hours. And now it's quite hot here in Kyoto, so I just leave it outside during the day. And during the night, I keep it in the attic, which keeps it quite hot. So I'm really, really happy that I don't have to use extra energy to make that, because that's like, whole day. I don't want to run something for 24 hours. So yeah.
Sure.
The recommended amount of natto per day is about 40 grams. So I add that in my salad, and it's amazing. Like I used to, make a whole like huge portion of salad, green salad, and I have to add some nuts and seeds to satiate me. But then I realized that nuts could be a bit too heavy, or
Yeah.
it might like flare up my skin conditions. So I have been replacing nuts with natto, and that's working really good. Like I'm really surprised. Like just 40 grams of natto, it's not that much. It's I
Yeah.
don't know, maybe 2 to 3 tablespoons. And yeah, like both my husband and I eat it every day during lunchtime, and it just keeps us satiated. And yeah, I don't feel the craving for something else, which is great. So I used to make for me to incorporate omega-3 fatty acids, I used to eat the chia berry parfait.
Yep.
But sometimes I don't eat enough, so I cannot make sure that I eat 3 tablespoons. So I just add it in green smoothies, and that seems to work really, really well for me. So between that, tablespoons of omega-3 fatty acids and chia seeds for me, and natto, that's been really working well. That's been working really, really well. So.
That's so interesting. I'm so glad you found what really works for you.
Yeah, and I can't wait for you to try my natto. So when I come over,
Yes.
I can meet. I'm pretty sure I can meet. I can bring the frozen one in my suitcase, and
I think
then
so. We can make
yeah.
it.
Oh yeah, we can make it as well. Yeah, your place.
We can. We can. It'll be summer, so this where I am, because it takes the heat all day. It's hot all night. Well, that doesn't
Mm,
sound like a selling point for staying here, but we'll work it out. We'll work
yeah.
it out.
No, no, but I make it in a way that people who doesn't like natto can eat it, because I mix it with a lot of like like marinated onions and mushrooms and ume. So yeah, it's easier to
Yum,
eat. Hmm.
yum. That sounds good. Okay, so I love what you said about being a raw vegan high raw for 20 years, and you've done different ways of eating this lifestyle. And I feel like I've done that too. I've tried different ways of eating, and I find, well, I'm really enjoying what I'm doing now. And interesting you say that you've always been able to eat a lot. I have a digestive system growing up where, I mean, I think I did try eat a lot, but I probably didn't know how constipated I always was. I did have bowel troubles even before I got sick. I must always have had slow transit through the colon. And so what I've noticed about, and plus I don't have a stomach, remember guys, no stomach, duodenum and top of the intestines is gone. So what I found, I've adjusted recently what I'm doing. So what I was doing was I wake up and have a lot of green juice, and then a matcha, and then more green juice. And my green juice is like the lemon ginger blast with no lemon, because lemon is high histamine, especially in juice form. It just hits my system. And remember, not having a stomach means very little DAO, and that diamine oxidase, we need that enzyme to help break down the histamines in the gut. I don't have it. And I'll get back to that. So I'm doing like celery, apple, cucumber, some greens, some ginger. Sometimes it's just celery and cucumber and green apple, and I taper the green apple to how sweet I want it. I find after doing a lot of fruits and juices, there's this sickly thing that happens when I start to have too much sugar. And I notice in my body, I start to get like, well, sagging around the chest. I get like an overlay of fat when I start doing too much sugar. But please know, I need fats. They just stop me having, I think, other issues, the omega-3s. So maybe that's it. But this is how I start my day. So you're doing a lot of green juice, and then it's a matcha. I then will usually I was having like the veggies, like the cruciferous veggies with seeds. But I've I still kind of am. I've tended to sometimes do that with some raspberries or some blueberries. So I'll incorporate that as fruit. I am no good with smoothies. I think it's to do with my gut. It does not like everything mixed together. Sometimes I will go most of the day on just green juice, and then by 11 or 1 o'clock, I start eating. So between 11 and 1, I start eating, and I will eat whatever I like as much as I like, usually cruciferous vegetables, chia or flax, or berries, up until I try stop by 3 or 4 o'clock, but sometimes it's 5 o'clock. What I have noticed when I swap the chia and flax for flax oil, I wake up the next day and I have a flat stomach like I did not know you could have. And the only issue with it, and I kind of dance around this, is that I never feel as great with oil. My body, obviously, I've done almost 4 years with no oils. I did almost 4 years with no oil. So when you put it back in, you can feel the system kind of go, what is this? But it works. I don't get flare-ups. It is more digestible than chia and flaxseed for me. But do remember, I feel I've always had this slow transit, no stomach. So it kind of makes sense. So I have been kind of dancing around doing some oil, some chia, flax. But the days I do no seeds and just oil, flat stomach. But then again, the payoff, I feel like there's always a payoff for something like that. Now, I was a couple times a week doing whatever I liked raw food wise. And I really wasn't having that much. Oh, I also wanted to say is I have to limit my salt. I need salt, but I can't use it as a condiment. I have to just go a couple cracks and move along, Skye. If I start using too much, the stiffness and let's call it fibromyalgia, or it's like the joints just, I'll start to move my neck and it'll crack, crack, crack. You'll hear clicking around my neck. My joints will start to stiffen up. So, and that is salt dependent. But if I take salt out, I feel off, nauseous, not as focused, almost lethargic. So it's, if I was anybody, when it comes to salt and you're eating a very light diet, play around with it is a great suggestion. So, okay, so I was doing once a week whatever I wanted, usually my Friday lives. When I say what I wanted, it's like histamine food, so tomatoes and lemons and more sort of the, I stay away from the SIBO type, what are they called? I'm having a mental block, someone can tell me, where you have, you want to limit the inflammatory foods in the gut like chili and garlic. I don't usually have those. And FODMAP foods, because they create different strands of bacteria, which can cause issues further down in the gut. But then I was doing okay. I was having no symptoms doing this once a week. And then I started to notice I was having symptoms. And someone brought up that, you know, it's the estrogen that I'm taking in my liver. And what I don't think people understand is the reason I put the hormone replacement back in is because I couldn't get out of bed anymore. I was getting such horrific mast cell flare-ups from with having no, well, I guess estrogen in my system, that I was a lot. If I showed you I think I posted some of the photos. There was pustule rashes all over my face, my stiffness, depression. But it got to the point of New Year's Eve, I could not get up anymore. I was so exhausted consistently. And I guess I didn't show that. I guess because I wasn't so prominent doing as much sharing on social media. Now I share everything. So you guys see every up and down that I have. So I think people were thinking that the estrogen was causing problems. Whereas in fact, it stabilized me, especially, and they say if you've had a full hysterectomy, it becomes quite protective because you have none and you need estrogen for DNA repair in the body. You find your joints. One of the things, my joints were getting really stiff, which seems to be something that happens. So what I want to say is overall, estrogen has given me many benefits. It's not perfect. It's still, you know, it's a pharmaceutical, and I choose not to use bioidentical at this stage. I'm using the one I used to use because I know my body is okay with that, and I'm happy to sit there. But it is giving me an overall much better. So when I have these flare-ups, they're not as debilitating as they were last year, like where I'm up all night in pain. I'm just irritated and a bit bloated. So basically a histamine flare is what it had been happening off the back. And someone said, you know, and then I brought up, because in my mast cell activation kit, which I don't think I added to this description, but I can add after, this podcast is I recommend, if you want to use some natural antihistamines, use quercetin, vitamin C, DAO. Now, I had not used anything in my system except magnesium, which was helping as well. I choose to use this one just at night. It's all it is different types of magnesiums. It seems to help stabilize. It helps with muscle relaxation in my body. It helps with bowel movement. It helps with sleep. Love it. I'd also added in the probiotic and enzyme by Lou Corona, and I found that it broke my food down really well. But I had not gone ahead and added more to help me stabilize, because I find in the past putting anything in irritates me before it gets through the gut wall, which I don't even really have a gut, so it takes a bit to get through. But I realized that it's almost, I get that if somebody wants to go and do Dr. Brooke Goldner's protocol to heal something very specific, I find when the way I was doing it, other people may find it, is if I get depressed over a food or like bored, I will find a way to sabotage. I won't even be conscious of it. And I feel like my body may already feel like I eat a diet which is very different to many people in the world. And I love that. But how it works for me, and this is why I promote recipes so much, is that keeps me occupied. A lot of people are fine, right? They're not needing, I need stimulation. I need a bit of chili. I need a bit of garlic. I need a bit of fun in my life. I can't just live every day eating cruciferous flax and hope that it heals, because on blood tests, I don't have a problem. That's not the problem. It is stabilizing just these generalized, and it's not debilitating like last year. It is just annoying, to be honest. So I went out yesterday and I've ordered DAO. I've tried the quercetin in my system, and I have the vitamin C, which is all natural. Okay, I will talk on each of these. So I took these first within 20 minutes. I'm pretty sure quercetin is an amino acid, which would, it works in help as an enzyme in the process of breaking down histamines. It's supposed to be really good within 20 minutes. And I find Bioceuticals is an amazing brand from when I used to be unwell. If I use their vitamins, amazing. So I found within 20 minutes, the tingling in my joints that I get, it's like a nerve pain or a tingling, which is, it sends me, I was talking on the weekend, it sends me to wanting to use stimulants because I'm in pain. I worked out that I go and want addictive things when I'm in pain. And I did a whole live on this, but I added the quercetin, and within 20 minutes, I was more stabilized. So I felt better. I got home because I was out with Dad, and I took this in the car, and I noticed the tingling and nerve pain was much better. So I can recommend quercetin. I do, when I work with clients.
Wait. Okay, so you are getting the tingling feeling because of your food eating out.
Yes. So if I eat just flax, chia, minimal amount of salt, or flax oil and cruciferous vegetables with green juices, and I do very little fruit, I can stay in a space where I don't have much. But if I eat outside of that, I will have issues. And as I've said, and it's not massive issues. It's just this generalized bloating, fatigue, not feeling great, and tingling. And sometimes even when I eat just what I just described, I call it nerve pain. It's like, especially in the connective tissue, it's a generalized, it's like, I'll tell you what it is. It's like the scratching somebody gets in their eyes from allergies being all over the body, predominantly in the joints. And instead of getting the message of this, I usually get a message to go smoke or go grab alcohol or go have a coffee. And I worked out this out was happening on the weekend. I finally worked out. I think I'd remembered before, but then I forget. Instead of feeling pain, and the same with my broken foot, I went and had a coffee. Instead of going to the doctor, having an x-ray, I don't feel it like normal people, because I believe for so many years, my body just sent me messages for pain relief. Alcohol was towards the end, but I always had coffee from 16 or 17. How long that had been going on, I have no idea. Instead
So
of
interesting. Yeah,
it is.
you're definitely very intuitive doing this diet for 4 years. And I think how you started raw vegan diet, but was just by accident, right? Because you just started to munch on carrots and whatever you can eat off the fridge. And I feel like that was a huge thing for you, that you were able to be intuitive, because a lot of, raw vegan can be so many varieties, right? You can go on a juice fast or water fast. You can also go for like a gourmet raw vegan, which I kind of started that way, and I felt really great in the beginning. But I think, yeah, a lot of people don't even see, cannot tie in on the connection on why you search for, caffeine, or why you search for drugs, right? Like, you have to really pay attention to tiniest details every day to get to that point. So yeah, congrats on that.
Thank you. I think also what I have going for me is I'm like the devil's advocate. So like when I go and do something, I don't feel it's like, oh my God, you're an addict, Skye, bad, bad, bad. I'm like, the body is very functional and purposeful. It does not send energy to something for no reason. And I think a lot of people write it off: weak adrenals, weak adrenals, weak adrenals. What if everybody forgot everything they'd learned, like I did when I healed myself? Everything, all the university, all the schooling, all the professors, all the surgeons, all the doctors. For 2 years, you had no access to that. And you started to notice that just eating carrots and celery, and then when you needed more, just a few nuts, made like a complete difference to your life. It's
Right.
like that mass awakening. But I was already someone who always, like, one of my first like words was like, why? 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 I'm a why person. Like, I don't, but you're right in that was not, I didn't know what a raw vegan was. I didn't even know they existed. And so I know for me, and this is very mast cell activation, in that I got rid of anything processed. So I'm not having anything really in a packet. I would at night sometimes, to get through, have cashews and like a soy sauce and stuff to stay raw. But predominantly, it doesn't affect you as much when you're not consuming it all day. Predominantly, it was like cucumbers and celery. See, fruit can become very volatile in the system. It has more allergens. If you look at people who have more problems, they get problematic. And I also noticed over time that the blood sugar was not doing great. For me, not at the start, but right. But I wanted to know, because I noticed so strongly when I broke my toe, I didn't feel the pain until it started to displace. What happened was I wanted to obsessively exercise. So I'm in pain and I want to exercise more because I'm needing dopamine, right? And on top of that, this is the first time these massive coffee cravings have come up. And then when I stopped exercising, it was like, I'm not getting through it without trying coffee again. Did not work for me. Not something that I do. But I've started to notice that when these come up, it's like I look down and I've actually already got a bloated stomach. I've already got this tingling in the nerves. I've already got the scratching or tinnitus in the ears. Nothing like it was. But now I don't get that message anymore until I stopped, because I was run, and then I want to go for a run. And running does help. I need to run every few days. For me, that's better than going and drinking. But why am I craving alcohol? Why am I craving cigarettes? Came up as well. And I'm like, they're all stimulants. More so the cigarette and the coffee came up. And I feel like once I use that, it must give me enough dopamine and enough focus to distract me. So
What was the side effect on your using the flax oil? Because you were saying that if you feel great right away, but there is some side effect.
there isn't truly side effects to the flax oil. So the flax oil can stabilize my mast cell activation. I would have to say now quercetin also does as well. But it's heavy. So to describe it, it's probably like the gut, the intestines, the liver. It's all getting a dense coagulation of fats without fiber and nutrients. But damn, does it stabilize me? If I'm like getting and my predominant one that gets the loudest on my body, it's like having tinnitus or scratchy eyes all over the body. And it's like about to drive me crazy. And I think this is why I get my addictive tendency comes out, because I can't sit with it. It's like being driven crazy. And the quercetin really stopped that yesterday when I was with Dad. I'm like, it's gone. It's stopped. Like, so that is what I need in my life right now. And I think people need to understand I may never heal this completely, and it is nowhere near, I'm not having organs chopped out, I'm not on ketamine, and I'm not, in psych units, but I have no stomach. We can't put my stomach back, and we can't put my intestines back, and I've had a full hysterectomy. So we've got a body which is already going to be prominently sending out mast cells because it's already essentially always semi-dysregulated. But also, there's so many levels to this. This is why there is no set cure for one person. Like that, you have no idea how it's winter now. Being barefoot in nature is probably one of the best things. And you hear these mums say, my kid had eczema or allergies and I moved them to the beach and they were outdoors all day. No allergies. One of the greatest things was the very basic raw foods and grounding. And I don't think people actually can comprehend the power of me sitting 16 hours a day outside while I healed. But the oil, the only downside is, and I remember I have no stomach duodenum, is it's like the clogs in my body. You can feel it go clonk, clonk, clonk. So, but it's better. It's like the best of a bad bunch, right? The seeds are obviously still irritating the gut, but I can have a little bit. But the days I do just the flax oil, like the payoff I get is there's no symptoms. My stomach's flat, but the system's a bit slower. It's not the same high vibrational energy that a raw food diet will give you. Now, I know there's a lot of...
you feel a bit demotivated. You might feel a bit demotivated because you're feeling a bit heavy, or...
So this is why I juice. So someone's brought up the reason. I know there's lots of questions, but let me just bring up this one because I haven't attached it here, but I will after. I have like a mast cell activation folder of healing it naturally and what I eat in a day. Now, what I want people to understand is I am healing because there's no histamines. And what I noticed on TikTok is a lot of girls that aren't raw vegan, they aren't even vegan, they're having premenstrual dysmorphic disorder, which is extreme PMS symptoms. All these histamine-related diseases are being fixed on a low histamine. They're still having eggs, they're still having cooked veggies, and their stomach goes flat and all their symptoms go. So we're removing histamines, okay, from the body. And a lot of these girls, before they fix their PDD, they, I think it might be, no, it's PDD. They go on antihistamines, which do not fix anything. The antihistamines block a receptor site. You still have mast cells activating antihistamines through the blood, through the tissue, but the nerves are blocked on with antihistamines. And these girls get no suicidal thoughts when their periods come out. Their bloating goes down. So the diet that I do is very low histamine most of the time. You cannot eradicate histamines. They are in most foods, but there's different foods. So in that folder shows high histamine and low histamine. And I think this is key for extremely sick people who have had a lifetime of the chronic fatigue, the POTS, the fibromyalgia, and then like chronic shingles and like all this sort of thing. The second thing is a good point. Sorry, I was just going to say a good point about...
I just want to mention that the file that Skye mentioned about high and low histamine, she's sharing it for free. So just wanted to mention. Yes. You're so generous.
Yes. So now I forgot.
I'm sorry.
Hang on, it'll come to me. Oh, you spoke about the heaviness in the system. The heaviness will be rectified by that I juice and don't do smoothies. So it's a compensation thing, is I'm not overloading the system with more food. And that is why the lifestyle that I do, I predominantly keep it light. But many other people who don't have organs missing may find this. And there is someone here that's saying I recommend Arnold Earhart's mucusless diet healing. That did not sustain me. So I did try that, where that's how I feel. And the problem is, and what happens is those fruits or the lighter foods, we don't live outdoors like Layla, who had the baby on the earth and was amazing. We live indoors around alternate currents. We are direct currents. We need to be on the earth. That diet's fine if you're on the earth 24 hours a day. But if you come inside and get inflamed, you're going to need protection. And I can't stabilize on fruit, to the point where the only fruit I could have was grapes. And then my teeth, I've spent last year teeth surgeries, and teeth pain every time I bite into a grape. And that was, oh, and green apples. But then the acids just burn my teeth. And people then tell you, you need to detox more. And then I look at the people telling me this,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I don't want to look like that. So that's my story, and everybody's different, but that's my take on that. So sorry, I know I went on a lot there, but that's and I will add to that, but that's why there's all those things that I do where I don't do green smoothies when I'm having denser, if I start eating fruit all day, it just gets stuck in my system. Then the blood sugar and the histamines in the fruit just.
So you have done the smoothies, right? How did you like?
I couldn't get up. I literally would lay on the floor, and I believe there's two things here. One is I can't do frozen fruit. Once you cook a fruit, it's like that lowering of the vibration of the food. And other people have said this that have sensitivities is they just can't. It's like that. The first thing that comes back is that chronic fatigue type thing.
Yeah.
The second thing is it's something to do with not having a stomach and a whole lot of digested food whooshing through the body. So I think when I chew the food, it gets stuck. I'm assuming this is what happens. So it's slower, is because remember, not having a stomach, if you have a smoothie, it still trickles down. For me, it just dumps into it's called dumping syndrome. I don't think you get a blood sugar spike. They were just too heavy for me in general, but I don't like, yeah.
So you've done like a lot, Dr. Brooke Goldner's green smoothie style, right? Because for me, I have been doing green smoothies, and I think it was too much too much fruits, like sweet fruits, that I started to add too much, that I felt hungrier after eating 1.5 liter of green smoothies. Then I think that flax seeds, that's helping, but also I'm adding a lot more crucified, like kales or broccoli. I'm adding, minimum, so that I can drink it and still enjoy it. And made a huge difference, because after that green smoothies with, more greens, maybe 80 to 90% of greens, and just adding some fruits to balance off that bitterness, I don't feel so hungry after finishing it. I don't have that sugar crush.
That's good. I will say that when I did all fruits, all I thought about was dying for my nighttime salty foods, and I didn't listen to my body. And I feel like that's how I got the blood sugar issues, the electrolyte imbalance, and low iron. And interestingly, when I first started eating very, very clean, like you, I was doing one fruit meal and then 2 type green salad before I got onto all fruits. And if I look back at photos, I looked really great and healthy there. I had very few problems. My problem stemmed when I eradicated the amount of greens and tried to do all of this very high fruits. And like you, I ended up a bit of a mess, but it is a learning curve. And I just think, as much as I believe we're frugivores, we're fruitarian, we're supposed to eat fruit, but the way the fruit has evolved doesn't match human evolution. Like, we sped up the hybridization of fruit. Like, I say this all the time, 100 years ago, eat into a banana, you are crunching through amino acid filled and fatty seeds. Like, literally, you can spit them out, but you're getting bits. We now eat very sweet with no seeds and wonder why we crave, because the minerals plus all this stuff. I feel like we are mineral deprived and we need omega-3s, and the way that everything's evolved, we aren't getting balance. That's how I feel. And now my diet's more directed on what I need. How do I get that hydrated and in its most natural form? And what if it's not the most natural form that's irritating me? What comes next? Which for me, so we're doing the green juices and the I probably didn't talk about that enough, about that. That's why I do the green juices, because if I get hydration, it will help me with density in the body.
What's nice about you, though, about Skye, like you have a very, like intense reaction to what you eat, but at the same time, it doesn't last that long, right? It's very
True.
intense, but I like, one day I would hear like, I cannot get up, and I cannot even read, I cannot even listen. And then like next day you're like up and doing, your daily routine. Like for me, it takes a long time for me to, I can ignore my signs, but that would take a long time for me to heal.
So on that would may have been my curse growing up. So I don't know, I haven't spoken much about this, but when I got sick, I wasn't really believed, even by family, for like 10, 15 years until organs started getting removed. I was kind of the hypochondriac, oh, she's not going to school again. Oh, another day off. Oh, that's just Skye. And because this is how mast cell works, mast cell activation is, and because I would bounce back like that, it was like, oh, it's just because her friends weren't around, or, she doesn't like school. And this went on for years
Oh,
until
I'm sorry. So you were like this before raw vegan?
Oh, yeah. And
Oh
I
my God.
wonder, yeah, I've always been like this. Like literally, I can be near death. And all of a sudden, once I have enough, whatever it is, I'm up. I'm playing water polo. I'm out. And then when I crash, you'll see it though. Though they had no diagnosis. Mum would be like, you can see it. I go white. And that's how mast cells work, is once they're flushed, is you're up. But when they're in there, and now I'm older, it's like, I'm dying. And then I'm like, because also what makes it better now than when I was sick is that I have strength from running, Pilates, a set routine. So I can be like, guys, I cannot function and be as sick as someone who usually needs a week. But once those mast cells clear, I'm back up. I've always been like this since I was very young. That's what made it, I think, even harder for people to believe.
Yeah. Oh, there's so many messages. Thank
There
you,
is.
Whimsy and Don. I really appreciate your questioning or commenting on. I cannot keep up with so many messages, but I really appreciate. Yeah.
I did want to bring up this one because does mast cell activation mess with your nervous system? Hell yes. I almost feel like you can't get mast cell activation until your vagus nerve and you have a dysregulated nervous system. In fact, you just have something with higher histamines, or you smell a perfume and all of a sudden your whole nervous system turns on because the mast cells or the immune system go out to hyperprotect because you're already inflamed. It's like a hyperprotection that comes on and on all the time. And I don't believe that there is a person out there who wouldn't benefit, who's inflamed, for trying a low histamine, high omega-3 diet. The only payoff for that is that you are limiting nutrients by not having a variety of foods. But it's all, if you are really inflamed and you can't get a grip, I would look at high omega-3, high histamines, and stay hydrated. Very Brooke Goldner, but I can't do the aspect of being that dehydrated from the teaspoon of salt, from having eat all the veggies you want. My system, and that sets off. So I highly suggest to play around with things. So
I always say that, whoever is going through the health journey, no doctor knows better than you do. And, no guru knows better than you do. So, we have to just pay attention to how we feel and get inspired by, people like, Dr. Brooke Goldner, but don't think that, that reaction is there's something wrong with you, right? That you're still going through this detox mode.
Yeah, and I will say here, so if you cannot stabilize with mast cell activation, is some people do have to cease eating. I actually found grabbing a case of coconut water flushed them out. Fresh coconut water would flush them out. But do remember, all mast cell activation will completely stop with a water fast because you eradicate the bacteria in the body and you're not putting in a high amount of allergens anymore. But in my experience, within 10 months, maybe even sooner, depending how bad you have it, it will always come back until you actually find a protective barrier for your system. And that is only what I've seen in the community, and this is why no one does one water fast and it fixes everything. There's a time period where you'll have to just keep doing it, and that gets stressful because you think you're still broke and you've got something to fix. But yes, definitely, if you cannot stabilize, you will have to cease eating. Did I bring this one up? You definitely don't need a rash.
what is GS
Dr. Goldner's program.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brooke Golden Nurse. Okay.
Yeah. The reason being I'm on Dr. G's program, I'm following a protocol, but after 3 weeks, I don't feel any better. I'm wondering if I'm having histamine issues, but not getting any rash. You do not have to get rashes. I only got rashes later. You can just feel extreme nausea. There's so many. I think in my folder, which I'll add at the end, it'll show all the things you can get. It's like unlimited. One person can get diarrhea, another person bloating, foggy in the head, scratchy eyes. Basically, any inflammation in the body has mast cells involved, whether they're releasing prostaglandins, antigens. I think it's the IgE proteins, histamines, like all inflammatory pathways go through. Mast cells are always involved. So they're always coming out because that's their job. If you're flushed when you're red from running, it's histamines. They've come in to protect you or basically alert the rest of the T cells and all the other things that need to come. Erythrocytes all get notified that there's an area which has inflammation. So it's worth not over exercising. It's worth just staying as calm as you can. But the omega-3s really protect you. Like they really protect you.
Yeah, this is interesting. I really appreciate a sprinkle of whimsy to share this because I haven't been doing this green smoothies of Dr. G's protocol for over 3 weeks. So I'll keep you updated. But for now, I'm feeling satiated. No sugar drops like I used to have. So
Yeah. I think the protocol is amazing. My only hiccup with it is the density. That doesn't, but I don't have a stomach. So, yeah.
Twinkle Whimsy say, I love you, Kiko and Skye. When I read that, I felt so good that I got
Oh, I'm sorry, I have to move these down.
oh, so nice. And Dawn said, you two ladies are beautiful, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Biking is good cardio. Okay, so what I found about the running, because running can, I think there was another comment I missed about staying away from high intensity, because yes, it can set off mast cell activation. I find it helps me with my addictions. It helps me with my pain level. It helps me with my ADHD. So when I run, I don't push myself. I just jog. But if I don't get my heart rate up every few days with something challenging, I don't feel as good. And I was doing it too much. I was doing it like every day plus Pilates. Now it's like every second day. If I miss a day, by the third day, I must jog. Let's say jog. I say run, but we're jogging.
How about biking? Can you bike?
Just not interested. So I could, but it's not
Okay.
something like, yeah.
Okay, I said this because when you come visit me here in Kyoto, I have extra bikes for you. And
Oh, yay.
biking here in Kyoto is so beautiful. I like biking in general, but biking in Kyoto is something so different. Like I can bike for hours and hours here in Kyoto because like every corner is so beautiful and surrounded by mountains. So yeah, well, you know how to bike at least, right?
Yeah, no, I think it stresses me out here because there's everywhere I would have to bike is either dodging people or with cars. And so if you gave me like somewhere that was open, I'm like, that's real. Because when I get into like cardio, I want to just dissociate. Like I want to see what's going on, but I want to be with my feelings and
Yeah.
emotions. I work through a lot of things when I run. A lot of things come up. And if I'm on a bike and having to dodge cars and people, I just go, no. But if I had somewhere where I could just do it free, I would be all for that.
We can do biking around the biggest lake here in Japan. That's a beautiful.
Oh, so yeah, I hope I answered everything when I went off there, but
Yeah, so that's great that it's working well. Like you are finding probiotics by what was it? Pro Life was it? What's you were taking
Pure Life.
magnesium, vitamin C.
Yes. I wanted to talk about the vitamin C that I tried adding.
Okay.
So the way, because, and if you've got mast cell activation, just know that anything that acts as it's a food and it's been on a shelf, like dried spices or fermented foods, or this is, I think it's goji berry, asolia cherry, rose hip,
Oh, wow.
camu camu, and some sort of kakadu plum. Okay.
Oh, that's great. It's all natural.
All natural, right? But what I found when I was really sick is I used to do better with pharmaceutical medications than I did natural things. And it made sense when I worked out I had mast cell activation because there's histamines on foods, right? That stuff's all dead. So this stuff, which has been processed, is like definitely, well, that's magnesium. It's definitely dead, right? So it worked very well. I noticed that this may work over time, but I noticed I was a little bit irritated by it. But I'll give it time, right? Because as with the oil, is I go back and forth with the oil because there's a payoff, but I find it the best of a bad bunch. So I'll see with this how we go. And I know most people would say have oranges and have citrus, but that's a histamine liberator, which actually doesn't have histamines, but actually causes the body to release histamines.
Is it in a capsule?
No, it's powder. I can't. What have I got here?
Okay, so it's 100% like
it's just
very
plant.
easy. Mm.
Yeah, there is. I think no, it's just called a vitamin C blend. So each teaspoon has 312 milligrams of the wild vitamin C. It's called wild vitamin C, which is 5 times your recommended daily intake of it. Sorry, I'm holding it up and you guys can't even see it.
So you mix it in water?
Yeah, I just mixed it in water. I didn't have a massive irritation, but it wasn't the same. It may work more over time. So vitamin C is
amazing. I love that.
So this is a natural antihistamine. This is a natural antihistamine, and it's all in the folder that I'll add after this. Magnesium is a natural antihistamine.
What's in it?
This is strictly magnesium. Magnesium glycinate, magnesium citrate, magnesium chelate, magnesium aspartate, tetrahydrate. And I have tried different magnesiums, and I always praise this one, which is an Australian brand, because this for me was the only one that had amazing results. But I do say to Americans or anyone in Europe, go to the website of Fusion, grab the ingredients, drop them in ChatGTP, and ask ChatGTP what you can get locally or in Europe or in America, which matches this. And usually you're going to have to buy 2 because this has got all the magnesiums, which just have different different levels of absorption. Some absorb very well in the small intestine, some struggle more, some magnesiums you need more of because the gut doesn't absorb them great. And salt is a natural antihistamine, except if you have too much, it becomes dehydrating. So it then causes a histamine problem. It's all about balance, baby. And this stuff, what this does is I noticed being on a fruit-based diet for a long period of time, and I heard other fruitarians reach out to me when I first got into the fruits who stopped doing it and introduced fermented foods, is that I started to notice that I was eating papaya and I'd go to the bathroom and literally papaya would just come out. Nothing was digesting. Or even when I got back onto the greens, is a little more digested, but still it was not digesting. You'd still see leaves and stuff. And this completely digests my food because it has enzymes and probiotics. And from all fermented foods like sauerkrauts and apple cider vinegar are extremely high histamine. They're like my enemy. They're like, I keep trying them and I just get so unwell from them. So yeah, they're my.
It's great. Like finding the trustable company for supplements is so important. I just had, like as I work as an interpreter and guide here in Kyoto, this Australian guy who was in the health business, he said that he used to outsource the production in China because it was cheaper. And yeah, once they built the trust, they would fill in with something, like they would just add 5% of what they're supposed to add, and then do like starches for 95%. And apparently this happens quite often. And
Yes.
so yeah, it's great that I know that Australia has a very high quality. They go through a very strict reviews on those. So yeah, it's important.
I do find Australia is very good. There's a lot of small companies where it's very more expensive because they pride themselves on what's in it. I also have always known, even before I got on this journey, that bioceuticals were like the optimal if you're going to get some sort of like very specific. This is bromelains and quercetin, and that's really good for. And it seemed to really calm. So I saw what sets off your histamine the most? That's a good question. So I was saying yesterday, so I've stabilized. I was setting off with laundry detergent, working past people with fragrances. I'd be in too much lighting and I'd get all sort of symptoms. Since getting on the high omega-3s and greens and balancing my hormones, that stopped. But I think because I have no stomach, I'm still struggling. So those bother me. In fact, I think I have a huge allergy to bananas, probably the worst. Yes, tomatoes and avocados and citrus can set me off. Bananas are the one fruit I didn't eat much as a child and really struggle with now. But yeah,
Even childhood.
even childhood, my sister and I never ate them. And I look back and now what I gravitate towards are fruits that I actually enjoyed as a child, which were more grapes, watermelon, green apples, and I wonder if it's because of the allergens that used to set me. Avocados, though, they set me off now. I never used to have as much avocado. But for me, the worst are fermented foods. Fermented foods are literally like the devil.
Okay, so you can't explain that though.
No, well, see, yeah, no, it's not. So, yeah, no. That I have, especially acid. Any acid histamine food seems to be worse. The tinnitus and the like scratchy eyes come straight out with like citrus or tomato but really the acidy apple cider vinegar. And I tried doing a sauerkraut where histamines get stronger as fermented food sits there and ferments stronger and stronger. So I tried doing a 3-day ferment. It didn't seem as bad, but I still seem to be like,
Have you tried natto?
no, I do want to try it though.
Okay.
Yes, this is what
Interesting.
Dr. Brooke Goldner said. I wanted to bring that up. I heard you shouldn't eat fermented foods unless you have a healthy gut. And because she said, because she gets asked, should I take probiotics or use fermented foods? And I heard, and she did this video and she said, if you want to heal your gut, use probiotics. If you have a healthy gut and want it to stay healthy, use ferments.
Interesting. Super interesting, learning how everyone's body works, but there are some common ground that we can pay respect. And I didn't know, you've mentioned about TikTok, like there are girls who avoid histamine foods, like they don't have suicidal thoughts. So that's a huge tip.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's it for this week, guys. As usual, it like flew.
Yeah, I'm just really amazed of your scanning technique. Like I wasn't able to read every single comments, but yeah, that you scanned everything and wrote out some of the important questions. So
Yes, but I will add after this, I will add the folder to this. If not, email me or message me and I will send it to you directly. But it basically has what it is, what you eat as a raw foodist, and what I eat in a day is in there as well. And I update the folder constantly, so it's worth checking back.
great.
All right, thanks, Kiko.
Thank you, Skye, and thanks, Dawn and Sprinkle of Whimsy. That was fun.
Yes, I will. We'll see you all soon. Bye.
Hey, bye. Oh, wait.
Yes.
Did you? Okay, I just want to mention this is a very exciting week because Skye's birthday is in few days. Oh my god, I almost forgot to mention. I said, okay, let me not forget it because I wanted to mention at the end. So we are having a raw party in a few days, and everyone is bringing raw food to celebrate Skye's birthday. And we have actually 3 or 4, maybe more people who have per birthday this month. So I'm really excited.
We do. So thanks, guys. And come along. The link is there. I put it on my pages. It's there. I'll have to post it on YouTube as well. But we'll see you hopefully soon and at the party.
Yay! Okay.
Bye.
Bye.